Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out, or I guess signing onto your Zoom account to join our general information meeting for the start of our fall semester. So we're NUWIT, and we're the Women in Tech Club for Northeastern. And our predominant focus is exactly as it sounds, is to create a community for women in technology, which can often be a hard time because technology is still a very male-dominated industry. And so our whole purpose is to create a warm community for new incoming students or even older students to join so that we can discuss things like hard classes, and we have young professionals come in and give tech talks and things like that. So there's a lot of good opportunities to get not only exposure to Corey College, but also exposure to what the technology field would look like in terms of any company that you may want to go to, any people that you may want to talk to, but it's all from the perspective of a woman going through this. And so I'm Terry, the president of the club, and I'm a now rising junior, and I'm a computer science and finance major, so that's one of the combined majors. I'm sure a lot of you have one of those combined majors as well. It's a great program. The reason why I kind of went into that was because I knew that I didn't want something that was so stringent as just computer science, but I wanted to be able to solve problems in the business sphere using technology, which I think is something that's really relevant, especially in our era where technology is becoming more and more prevalent. And I think the main reason why I chose to go into NUWIT is because you will come to find that some of your classes are a little bit more male dominant, or even if they're not. When I first joined, I was like, I don't know what to do because I had never coded before in my life. And joining this club was kind of a way for me to bridge that gap and meet other people who were in the same situation as I was. So I think NUWIT is good for people that both have coding experience or do not have coding experience. It's just a good way to build a community and have people that are from similar backgrounds as you to be able to communicate with. So I'll pass it over to Emma to do her little introduction as well.
Hey guys, I'm Emma. So I am the vice president of NUWIT. Oh goodness. So I'm gonna be a third year. I'm doing 5 years. So I guess in Northeastern, some people would say I'm a middler. I don't like that word. So anyway, I'll be a third year. I am majoring in computer science and music technology. And so I chose that because I knew I wanted to major in something technical. And I kind of ruled out everything but computer science through high school. I just didn't really like any of them. And so I took one coding class and I was like, don't hate it, guess I'll do that. And I've actually grown to really love it now as I've taken more computer science classes throughout college. And then I chose the music technology part because similar to Terry, I knew I didn't want to only take computer science classes. And I knew that I liked music for a very long time. I play violin, and I've been learning guitar and a couple other things. And so I figured that music technology would be fun. It was a lot harder than I expected, the classes, but it's actually been really fun and I've really enjoyed it. And so I ended up joining NUWIT because I actually came from a girls' school. And if any of you guys have been to a girls' school, you might know that it's kind of overwhelming to go from a girls' school to even just a co-ed school, let alone a major two majors where the majority of my classmates are dudes. And so it was just really nice to have a community where it felt a little more like home and just have my community of women again. And also similar to Terry, it was also just nice to have a community of people who could tell me and help me with things like what professors to take classes for. NUWIT helped a lot with getting my first co-op, which I'm just finishing this week. So I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, that's me. I guess we can popcorn this. Anu, do you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, my name's Anu. I'm a computer science and math major. I'm kind of a third year. I'm kind of a fourth year. I switched from chemical engineering, so I'm a little bit older than everyone else, but also behind at the same time. And yeah, I love NUWIT because I think that it's a great place to find a community and meet people that are supportive and not judgmental, no matter who you are, what shape you come in, there's going to be someone you can find here. But also it's just a really great way to learn about the tech space and learn about the skills you need to learn. Tech is a really daunting environment from time to time because there's a huge gender disparity. I hope I don't scare any of you, but there is a huge gender disparity. And also, I think there's this expectation in tech that you do a lot on your own time, and finding a place to do that without kind of just like diving into it by myself, knowing nothing, was a huge priority, and Newitt is definitely a place you can do that. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up here. And I hope you guys can hopefully find both a community and a place where you can learn lots of new things in our club, because we've worked so hard and are still working hard to create that for you guys.
Hey guys, I'm Emily. I'm majoring in data science and biochemistry. I guess the reason why I chose like that major is I was actually more interested in the biochemistry part in high school, at least, because I didn't have that many opportunities to kind of explore computer science. But all my teachers were like, if you have a chance, like minor or just take some computer science classes and um, figure out, like, it's just really important to know. It's a good skill to take into the future. And then I figured a combined degree would be fun. And honestly, the first semester I thought I was gonna turn computer science into a minor, but I ended up really liking it. As for like what I knew it has done for me, I mean, I joined it because I came in, nobody from my high school, or not that many people from my high school, went to Northeastern. So I wasn't really sure where I kind of fit in Northeastern. And I went to a bunch of different clubs, and I kind of gravitated towards this community the most. And I'm super thankful that I did. All the events really helped me get a good idea of what career I want, and all the social events are super fun. And so with that, I think I could pass it off to Harini.
Hi guys, so I'm Harini and I'm a combined bio and computer science major, and I am a rising third year, but I'm actually also on co-op right now, so I just started my co-op about a month ago. And for me, I wanted to so I had no computer science experience at all, but I was interested in like bio and like medicine, but I knew that like CS was something that would be applicable, like no matter, like there's so many fields where it's applicable. And for me, I saw it as like a tool to like apply to other fields that I was interested in, and so that's kind of like why I wanted to do it. But I came in, and similar to Emily, like I just thought I was going to end up dropping that part of my major, and then I ended up really enjoying it. And so that has been my computer science journey, and Newitt has been a huge part of that. I feel like it's great to have that community, and like I know I've reached out to like just girls that I've talked to maybe like a few times at like meetings, and like asked them for co-op advice or class advice, and it's been really helpful. And also just like having like all those like companies come in and talk to us, like I feel like this year I really appreciated that, and it's cool to like learn new stuff. So yeah, I'll pass on to Rachel.
Okay, hi, I'm Rachel. I'm the treasurer of Newitt, and I am a data science major. And the reason, or one of the reasons why I chose data science, was like the versatility of it. Like how Harini said, it applies to a lot of different fields, computer science and data science as well, like health science or bio or business. And so I just love the versatility of it, especially since I'm a very indecisive person. And so just the opportunity to be able to branch out to different fields is really helpful. And the reason why or the how Newitt helped me was, well, in the beginning, when I first joined college, I didn't have a lot of coding experience like a lot of people here. And just knowing that there's other people like me and who are there to help me along the way really helped me. And so if you don't have any coding experience and you're scared that you won't do as well, don't worry, you'll be okay.
Okay, so I think I'm the last person. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and start then. Hi guys, I'm Brittany and I am the web chair. So I am going to be a middler as well, and I am majoring in computer science and design. And like a lot of people here, I also did not have any coding experience coming into college. So I kind of decided to go this route because, I mean, computer science wasn't offered in my high school, but I thought that, you know, tech is a really important industry in the future. And I really liked, you know, logic and problem solving things. So I thought, all right, computer science sounds all right. And I have always been really passionate about art, so that's why I did it combined with design. And so throughout college, I also just grew to really love computer science, and I'm actually going more down computer science than design now. So, you know, it's been really great. And what else? So I joined NUWIT because, you know, I also didn't know a lot of things about computer science, and it was just like a good way to find a community of women within the industry. And not only that, you know, the tech talks that NUWIT hosts are really, really helpful in teaching you, you know, what you might need for an interview or like what things you should look into, and also just taking advantage of having the company's representatives there. So, I mean, if you guys do end up coming to our workshops, I recommend that you take advantage of, you know, any Q&A sessions that they host. And yeah, just feel free to reach out to any of the women in this group because, you know, a lot of us are new in computer science, and if you don't know something, then we're happy to help. So that's it for me.
Awesome. So with that, I guess we'll go into a little bit more discussion about what our general meetings will look like for this upcoming fall semester. And so I'm sure, like you guys already know, everything is going to be pretty much virtual, at least for club meetings. So our meetings will still take place, though, on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. And we can give a little bit of an overview about what that's going to look like as well. It's going to be a pretty good blend of tech talks as well as social events where you can meet other girls that are in the club, but as well as being able to meet industry professionals. So a few big companies that we have coming in this semester are companies like Salesforce and HubSpot and Datadog. So those are a lot of big, not only co-op employers, but a lot of big names that are in technology. And so we have a lot of great opportunities for, especially you guys coming in as new students, to be able to reach out to either the speaker or the recruiter and get an idea of, hey, like, what does it look like to work at Salesforce? So, like, what are the things that they're looking for, and like ways that you can kind of do personal projects or sort of build your own resume to kind of shape towards that and to kind of benefit yourself and frame yourself in the best way, so that when 1 year moves really quickly and before you know it, you guys will be doing co-op applications. And it's immensely helpful to have all of those meetings. Even for me, where I ended up going into a business co-op, but I was still able to do a lot of networking opportunities with a lot of the companies that came in. Beyond just Salesforce and HubSpot and companies like that, we've also had companies like Google, Amazon, what else?
Yelp.
Yelp, yeah, a lot of other big names as well, that tend to attract a lot of people. But the nice thing is, like, NUWIT kind of holds a special spot in a lot of those companies' hearts. And so a lot of them are really happy to come in and like one-on-one talk with students. And a lot of times we have a lot of technical interview opportunities, other networking opportunities where you really are getting the leg up above a lot of other students because you do have that exposure and you are able to build a more personal connection. Autumn, did you want to talk a little bit more about our Fall Fest activities?
Yeah, so for fall, we'll be having an event on September 8th, which I think is like a couple weeks from now, roughly. And so if you have any more questions, it's definitely going to be a more personable event where there are going to be more opportunities for like a Q&A. Emma, I think we have slots throughout the day as well. So it's definitely going to be.
They actually changed it so that each club only gets one spot. So we're
Oh.
12 to 12:45.
Forget I just said that. But yeah, it should be a little bit more of like a casual, personable environment. We're going to be there, and if you have any questions, we will be happy to answer them and tell you more about our club. On to the events we have for the fall. Like Terry said, they're a really good mix of kind of personal and social events, as well as opportunities to get to know recruiters, opportunities to learn new technical skills, like skills specific to certain industries or certain companies that you may not really know about in advance, technical interview workshops, things along that vein. So what I'm trying to say is there's a good diversity of events. So if there's something that really interests you and you really want to learn more about, we'll probably be having an event similar to that in the fall. And so we're really excited about that.
Yeah, and we're open to any suggestions of anything that you guys would like to hear too. We're always looking for new topics or new ideas that could be interesting for anybody to hear. And with that, I guess we can open it up for the last like 8 minutes or so for any sort of questions that you guys may have. We're happy to answer anything. It doesn't have to be exclusively about NUIT. It can be about Corey College, your freshman year experience, things like that. Any sort of concerns that you may have, we're happy to answer.
If you guys don't want to like unmute, you guys could always just like type something in the chat too.
I have a question, Terry.
Okay.
So what's it like being a first-year student when you haven't had any programming experience? And what are some of the challenges you encountered and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think that's like something that I was really worried about going into my first semester at Northeastern. It's not as bad as you think it's going to be. I was like, oh my God, like everybody else is going to know how to code. I'm going to be the only one that has no idea what to do. But that's not the case. I think Northeastern does a really good job about kind of like easing you in like a more like gentle way instead of just like dropping you into the water. And so you have a lot of good resources to be able to turn to, office hours. Even the biggest thing that was the most helpful for me was feeling comfortable reaching out to my professors. Honestly, like if you don't reach out to your professors, then I think that is really a big disadvantage, because if professors know your face and know how hard you're working, then they're more likely to be able to work with you and be able to teach to your learning style. So I think that's one thing that was the biggest help for me. A big challenge was then feeling comfortable doing that and feeling comfortable that I may not know everything all the time, but that's okay, because it's just a matter of you feeling comfortable admitting that you don't know that. But beyond that, as long as you are willing to put in the time, I think computer science is one of those things that's really rewarding as long as you are willing to put in the effort. How do I open chat? Okay. Virtual pizza.
Unfortunately, we probably will not be able to feed you guys this semester. It breaks my heart as well. We are, because of that, we kind of have a budget and very few expenses. So we're thinking about getting merch. There are no promises. If you're on the Slack, you saw my message asking if anyone wanted anything in particular. Again, no promises, but we're looking into some things that we can get you guys other than pizza. How often do people go to meetings on average? I guess I can
say we have like a turnout of like 25 to 30 students at every meeting. It also just really depends heavily on who's presenting or what we're doing. Things like Google or Yelp will often yield a higher turnout for, I feel like, reasons that make sense because everybody likes Google and Yelp. But on average, it's normally about 25 to 30 people.
Yeah. I know our other like social events like movie nights or like workshops, those tend to get a lot if it's not during like finals. But yeah, I'd say, but with the virtual setting, who knows, maybe more or less people will come. We'll see.
Yeah.
This is new to all of us, so we're kind of figuring it out as we go along.
Yeah. So I guess to answer that, it's like most people come every week, but it's not binding. So you just come whenever you have time. If you have an assignment due the next day, then it's not like we're going to be like, oh, like, where's that person at? But it's just whenever you feel like you can put in the time, then we're happy to have you. What days of the week does the club usually meet? We are going to be meeting on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. Tuesdays is normally the day that NUIT has been meeting historically, so we're just going to try and like continue that despite the fact that we're virtual.
Hi, this is. Oh, you go ahead.
Okay. I was just wondering what's one thing you would have done differently or one thing you would have done your freshman year?
Maybe we can all go around and say one piece of advice to answer this question.
Yeah,
All
that's a
the
good idea.
board. I mean, I can.
Okay, you want to start?
I can start. So one thing I would do different. I would say, like Terry's advice before, is kind of like utilize the professor. I did not really do that in my first semester, and instead, like, I would just go to office hours, which is often really packed. But if you reach out to the professor separately, they may be able to answer your questions better, or just at least get to know your phase, because in your first semester, the classes that everybody has to take tend to be bigger. So, it's hard to find that opportunity to talk to the professor. So, like Terry said, just reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and like really go to office hours if you need to. And start early.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the biggest, not regret, but the biggest thing that I could have improved on, especially my freshman year, is like you really need to start the assignments either the day of or the day after they're released. A lot of people are like, oh, like if I save 3 days for it, that seems like plenty of time. But let me just tell you, like for computer science, you never know like what's going to pop up or like what test isn't going to pass, because that's the one thing about Corey College is like they make the tests and like the submission server a little bit tricky. So you need to allocate time for that just in case like you aren't able to figure it out on your own. And it's okay if you can't, but you just need to be able to know that you have the time to go in and ask for help and to be able to figure those things out before the deadline. Otherwise, you're going to end up kind of hurting your own grade for something that you could have helped.
I can go next. Actually, Annika messaged me. Annika and I became friends through Fundies because we both just suffered together. I honestly can't remember if we were partners or not, but it felt like we were. We were? Okay. It was a blur. But I think her advice is really good, and I was going to say something similar. She said, try to become friends with your Fundies partners. It'll make the long hours more bearable. And I definitely agree. Like, for better or worse, you're kind of stuck with them for half the semester. And if you're like friends with them, or you like, you obviously have to work, but like getting like dinner or at like the dining hall together or something can make it just like feel nice and feel like you're hanging out with a friend instead of like, oh, you're just going to struggle with this person you don't even really know. So yeah, everyone kind of struggles through that class. I think you're like, you might see people make it look like it's easy, but it's not. And so I would say to like my freshman self, like, it's okay. Like, everyone thinks this is hard, and like you're gonna be fine. So
I can go next. So I was gonna say, kind of going along of what you guys said before, but when it comes to like office hours, like you should go even if you don't have any questions, even if you're not stuck. Like I think one of the best things is like you and your partner both go into office hours and just work on the assignments there, because then if you do run into a question, you can just like ask them, but also like you can run ideas by other people and just kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it's a very like good environment for like getting your work done and like learning different things. And depending on the class, like you can collaborate with other people. Some classes you can't, but I think definitely just like going, and like a lot of times in the beginning of the year, people will be like too like nervous to go, but like don't go. The TAs are just sitting there like sometimes doing nothing, especially on like Fridays or the weekends, like they're not doing anything there and they're getting paid for that. So you might as well just go and take advantage of them. Like you can get a one-on-one session if no one else is there. So definitely utilize office hours.
Just to add on to that, I was one of those people that would like, it sounds really lame, but I spent some of my Friday nights like at office hours. But the great thing is like, if you finish your assignment on a Friday night with nobody else in line, you have the rest of your weekend free. And normally like, they don't release the next assignment until like Tuesday or Wednesday. So then it's like, you have so much free time and you're not just wasting time in line, not knowing what to do.
I could go next. I think like going with everybody else, like I think time management is like one of the main things that I struggled with freshman year. I mean, I just finished freshman year. I'm a rising second year, but like I think a big part of it was that like if you push off your fundies homework, I'm assuming they're probably gonna give you guys like late days, or some people just take the L and like submit it a day late. But if you're late on your fund use assignment, it kind of goes into discrete structures if you guys are taking discrete structures at the same time because they space it out like that. So like if you kind of mess up one time, you're kind of in a loop. And so I think like going to office hours and connecting with your partner really early is one of the main parts, especially since I took object-oriented design over the summer, which was completely virtual. And those office hours list, they were like so there are people I was one of those people who were waiting like 8 hours for a TA. And it was so much easier when like if I started like a couple days earlier, it would only be like a 5-minute wait. So I think that's probably my biggest piece of advice for the incoming freshmen.
I guess one advice I would have is just to go to more club events, like not just tech clubs, like cultural clubs or whatever clubs we have on campus, because it's really great to meet new people, especially in your first year, and just to network and stuff. And I wish I'd done that more, but like my social anxiety just got the best of me. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really great piece of advice because, like, I mean, it's great. Obviously, you should try and manage your time, go to office hours early, start the assignments early, and you're going to have a much easier life. But, you know, like, one thing that's really important when you're computer science students is to, like, remember to, like, allow other parts of your personality to breathe and like get out there and do things that are sometimes not tech related, more just like on a mental note, like know that you're not just your fundies homework. Like that is not the start and end of your existence. So trying to find ways to do that is going to be really helpful, and it's also going to try and keep you like motivated throughout the semester to keep putting in the work you need to put in to do well.
Yeah, definitely. Going off that, I was on the club volleyball team freshman year, and like that kind of saved my mental health. Like because whenever like we had like movie nights on Fridays, a couple of us, and like that night, like I dropped all my fundies homework and I kind of just like went and mentally just took a break. And like even stuff like whether it's through sports or other clubs or just like stuff with like friends, it's really important to take a break because like a lot of the fundies assignments or a lot of the computer science assignments are super long, and some people don't really know when to take a break. And so like I think that's really important.
So just to make sure that we get to the other questions, we can return to this later because I'm sure we all have, even like returning students who are not first years, I'm sure we all have plenty of advice on first year stuff. But I think the next question is, in general, how many of you are going back to campus or staying home this semester? Maybe I can make a poll. Let's see if I can do that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's like taking me to another page.
I guess while you do that, I will be going back, but just not like immediately. I think it's really up to you, like whether or not you want to go back or not, whatever you're comfortable with. I just think like for me, it's personally better to go back a little bit later, but I know a lot of people that are either already back or they're going to be back on like September 1st.
Yeah, I just came back like 2 days ago, so I will be, back on campus whenever it opens.
Yeah, I'm also going back, but we could also like I don't know if I don't know if you're trying to make a poll on like this meet, but we could also make a
Got it.
poll. Oh, there it is. We could also make a poll in the Slack.
Oh, true.
Um,
But yeah,
So like
I'm gonna be off campus in Boston. But yeah, this is actually good information for us to know, I think. So while that's going on, what is the time commitment like, and what does a typical meeting look like? The time commitment is whatever you are free to give. We'd love to have you, but we obviously don't want you to like feel like you have to come to these meetings. Like these should be fun. You should want to come, all that stuff. And so if you like need to turn an assignment in, you can bring your assignment to a meeting. I've definitely done that. But you can also just stay home and get it done, and you don't need to come. But we typically have a 1 hour meeting once a week. And then typical meeting is depends on the, I think we kind of went over this, but it depends on the like topic. So sometimes we'll have a tech company come in and give like a tech talk. Sometimes we'll have like a movie night or a fun like painting, de-stressing night. We've done workshops before, like I think last semester we did a music visualizer kind of workshop. It's kind of whatever. If you guys have any really cool projects that you think would be really cool for other members to try to replicate or just learn about, you guys can talk to us and we can try to get a workshop going for you. So yeah. Let's see, can I share the results? Okay. Oh, it looks like it's a pretty even split. It seems like a lot of people are going to be on campus, which good luck. It's fun living on campus. It's just with the virus, I'm a little
we'll see
scared.
how they handle it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got kicked off campus last semester, so I'm a little salty. But I hope it's better for you guys.
Be prepared. I guess if nobody else has any other questions, we are on pretty much every social media platform. I guess not like Snapchat or Twitter, but we do have like a Facebook page, a Slack channel, as well as a LinkedIn page. So feel free to add us on any one of those. And if you ever have any sort of questions, then you can send us an email at nuwomenintech@gmail.com. And one of our e-board members will be able to get back to you on that as soon as we can. So with that, we'll either see you at Fall Fest or good luck on your first semester. It'll be hard, but take comfort in knowing that there is a really great community out there for you and a lot of great resources.
And if you ever have any questions or concerns, or you just need to message someone, like you can find us all on the Slack, and we're like happy to be there and give you guys recommendations for teachers, advice if you're struggling, things like that. We'll be there and people will be replying.
Thank you for coming.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I need to figure out